What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I have a question for you. What do you think the leading cause of bankruptcy is, personal bankruptcy, in the U.S.? We're going to take a look. I'll show you this clip of Senator Bernie Sanders. He's going to be talking about this. But first off, if you guys find value in content like this, please like the video and then subscribe to the channel. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to show you guys this clip. This is Senator Bernie Sanders. He's going to be talking about the leading cause of bankruptcy. Here we go.
It is no secret, I think, to most Americans that our current healthcare system is broken, it is dysfunctional, it is a cruel system. It is the only system in the industrialized world that does not guarantee healthcare to all people, and yet we end up spending twice as much per capita on healthcare as the people of other nations. And the result of all of that is that our life expectancy is significantly lower than many other countries, and our healthcare outcomes are often worse. But today, we are going to be talking about one of the most outrageous and cruelest aspect of this dysfunctional healthcare system, and that is that people who suffer and are trying to deal with terrible illnesses, cancer, heart disease, whatever, not only have to struggle to try to get well, struggle to get the treatment that they need, but then in the midst of all that, they are consumed with the reality that their family may go bankrupt because of the outrageous cost of healthcare. Truth is that in America today, the leading cause of personal bankruptcy, what is personal bankruptcy? People go to Las Vegas and blow their money gambling? Are they buying extravagant homes and fancy jewelry? No. The leading cause of personal bankruptcy in this country is the outrageously high prices that large hospitals, pharmaceutical companies, and insurance companies charge the American people for the crime of getting sick. Bankruptcy takes place because you get sick and need medical treatment.
Okay, so that was Senator Bernie Sanders. So what do you think about that? The leading cause of bankruptcy, personal bankruptcy, is medical bills. Okay, people get sick and all the bills start piling up and they can't afford to pay. And so they have to file for bankruptcy. Now, this amazes me because I do a lot of traveling and I like to get out and I like to talk to people when I travel. I like to go and live in areas that are not tourist areas because I want to see how the culture is. I want to see what people say about certain things. And I want to learn the different ways of doing things all over the world. And a lot of the countries that I've traveled to, I ask that question about healthcare. How do you get healthcare? Do you have to pay for it? And in most situations that I've been in, when I've asked that question, they say, no, we have universal healthcare. They have at least a form of universal healthcare. You also have healthcare that you can pay for if you want to do that. So you get a step up, you get another level of service, or, it's private, or, it's different. But everyone is entitled to health care. I was talking to a friend of mine. This was just last year. I was in Colombia, and I have a friend that lives out there. He's a taxi driver, and we were going different places and stuff like that. And I asked him that question. I actually did a video. I was doing a video at the time, and he was saying, yes, we have universal health care. And it's on a tier level, so it depends on how much money you make. You could be at the lower tier, the middle tier, or I think there's either 2 or 3 tiers. But everyone gets health care coverage. And so if you get sick in Colombia, you have access. You can go to a hospital and you can get treated. Now, I don't know about medications and things like that. You might have to pay for that. But as far as going to the hospital, you can. Everyone can go to the hospital. Just like in the U.S., we can all go to the hospital. But if you don't have insurance, then you're going to be paying a lot just for the visit. Whereas in a lot of these other countries, you can go for the visit. You don't have to pay anything. And then you might have to pay for medications and things like that. But that's a better system. Because let's look at this scenario. Let's say you've worked somewhere for 20 years. You've had full coverage. You had health insurance. You had everything. And then the pandemic happens. And then guess what? You get laid off. and now you don't have a job. And now you get sick, but you don't have health care coverage anymore because you're no longer working. So guess what? The bills start piling up. And now you have to file for bankruptcy because you can't pay these bills. And that is a real story. That's what's happening to millions and millions of people in the U.S. They either don't have health care coverage or they were working for a long period of time. They had health care coverage, but they lost their job and now they no longer have it. Or you retire and you might retire at 62. You can qualify for Medicare at 65, but you're not quite there. And so this happens to a lot of people. Or maybe you're forced to retire a little early. So in my opinion, we need to do something about our healthcare system. It's just not working. It isn't working. You have people filing for bankruptcy. If that's the leading cause of people filing for bankruptcy, now I don't know where he got that information from, so I'm just telling you what he said. But that's a tragedy in itself. That's hurting the American people. You know, another thing that I found when I travel, and I didn't know about this until I started traveling, but we have pharmaceutical companies that have commercials in the U.S. I think the U.S. and it might be New Zealand, there's like only 2 countries that will allow this. Pharmaceutical companies advertising to us, telling us to ask our doctors about these different medications. How crazy is that? Just think about that. A doctor really should know what medications are good and not good for you. But now you have pharmaceutical companies stepping in and putting out these commercials with these jazzy tunes telling you to go ask your doctor for this and go ask your doctor for that. And then the most comical part about these pharmaceutical commercials is when they start telling you side effects. And you notice they always do that really fast, but they tell you all these different side effects that you could get from these medications. And so you don't see that in other countries. You don't have these pharmaceutical companies advertising to the people in the country. It doesn't happen. But in the U.S., that's the way it is. Just think of how much money these pharmaceutical companies are making to, you know, the reason that they're putting these commercials out is because they're working. That's why they do them. And when you sit down and you watch TV, and I guarantee you, each commercial break, you're going to see one of these commercials, at least one, where they're advertising some type of pharmaceutical, some type of drug to us. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So I want to know what you guys think about this. Let me know in the comments below. Obviously, you have politicians are saying different things. You have, the American people we see things different. Some people say universal health care is good for everyone. Some people say, no, we shouldn't have universal health care. But I'm telling you, we shouldn't be in a situation where our medical bills pile up so much that we have to file for bankruptcy. That should never happen. And I know there's legislation, they're talking about legislation now to make sure that you're not going to, that you won't, if you have debt, if you have medical debt, that can be wiped out. It's not going to impact your credit and you're not going to have to file for bankruptcy as a result of that. And I think that's a good start. But just looking overall when it comes to our healthcare system, we need to make some changes. There's too many people with their hands in the pot. You have middlemen and all these different people that are getting money from us, the American people, because basically the way it works, even if it's Medicare, the way it works is we have people who are insuring us, we're paying them, and then there's middlemen that are involved, and those middlemen are in contact with the pharmaceutical companies, and so you got all this money going out, and we're the ones that have to pay for it in our premiums and all that. So that's all I have. I want to know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.